Hey everybody, you are tuned in to Hanging with H2ZHW, the show that is a place for people who love all kinds of music. We really hope you enjoy your time with us today. Make sure you hit subscribe if you already haven't, and hit that notification bell to be kept up to date. We would love to hear from you over on our social media platforms, so just search H2ZHW and you'll find us. Lastly, could you leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify or Google Podcasts, or wherever you're going to be tuning in from? Those reviews help other people to find us, so we appreciate the reviews and the support. Thanks so much for tuning in.
How you doing?
Good morning or good afternoon, Danny.
We are in almost evening now, almost 5 p.m.
Awesome. How you been?
I've been not too bad. Busy days, long and busy days.
And also promoting your tequila straight off the bat. I can't.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, look, I don't have my H2ZHW shirt on. I feel really shit now.
There you go. It's the pro move, dude. You gotta keep it.
Got to do it.
Uh-huh.
All right. So you've just come back from the Euro Festival run. So how was that?
Well, it started out great. Everything was running smooth, and then James broke his foot, so we had to come home. So we missed the last, I think, 4 or 5 shows, which a little bit of a bummer, but we've as of late had this curse where either illness or injury keeps making us come home early from tours. But
Sure.
hopefully that's the last of those.
To be completely recovered for the fall tour?
Yeah, he's been in PT. He starts drumming again on Monday, I believe. Monday or Tuesday, whatever the first is. He starts drumming on the first again.
Okay, cool.
So he'll have a good 4 or 5 weeks to get ready for that.
Did he break his foot while under the influence of the tequila?
I wish I could say yes. But no, he got up in the night to go to the bathroom and stubbed his foot against the edge of the bed and just shattered it, which is the least cool story.
Yeah, we need to add some weird shit onto that to make it credible now.
Nope, I think he deserves the bad story. That's his punishment. He doesn't get to make up a cool one.
That's amazing. So congrats on the album. It's really eclectic. I've got to say, I've done a few interviews with the band for the last couple of albums, and this one really took me by surprise, to be honest with you, because there was some really synthy elements, some real, I hate to say the word to a metal band, but dancey elements, which I think is really good because there's something for everyone. Was that like a deliberate approach going in?
Something for everyone was very literally the mission statement going in. It was the last album we wrote was so personal, and it was so for us that this one we wanted it to be a kind of for them kind of situation. So the idea off the go was having a little bit of something for every different pocket and flavor of Asking Alexandria fan there is. We've done a lot of things over the last 15 years, so we have a lot of different parts of fan base that all want different things. So this was our attempt at kind of bridging that gap a little bit.
Sure.
And everything in one place, which is an impossible task. We know we're never going to please everyone. If we listen to comment sections, we never please anyone. But
yeah,
we tried to, as best with our experiences with our fans as possible, create somewhere where they can all feel at home.
For me, this seems like the first album that I can remember where you've almost written from a third person perspective as opposed to writing about yourself. Would that be true?
Yes, 100%. There's, with the exception of the title track, nothing is personal, which I don't mean in a negative way with people being like, I'm not invested in the songs. They're nothing to do with my life, nothing to do with my emotions, nothing to do with my feelings or experiences. Everything is it's trying to create that home that's cohesive to capture everything we've done rather than what I think, feel, and I'm going through at that particular moment in time.
Sure. To me, the album has massive aggression, but also an overwhelming sense of like positivity, good vibes. Is it hard to do that as a band? Be, heavy as fuck in places, but also have that positive message?
Um, I think it's a challenge when writing to combine two things anyway, but I think that is what makes songwriting such a beautiful thing, is those kind of paradoxes that you try to marry in the middle of. It's part of what makes it fun, is the challenge and kind of finding those amalgamations of just opposing ideas.
Now, on the subject of the word fuck, did you count how many times you said it on the album?
I didn't, but it's definitely, with the exception of the last two albums, it's definitely less than the first three. For the last three before this, I held back. I don't know if I think there was what I don't know if I had any swear words on the last album. I don't think I had any no-nos.
Well, look, the first song made up for it on its own.
Yeah. This album's full of no-no words if people have been missing them.
Yeah. Like, if it was in the 80s, they have the big giant sticker across the front.
Yep.
Which would make us want to buy it more.
Yeah. I think it had the exact opposite effect than they meant to. I remember watching all those videos back of Dee Snider fighting all that stuff in court. It's wild.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, look, as a kid of the 80s, the minute I saw the sticker, I didn't even give a shit if I liked the band. I was buying the album. I'm buying up for the sticker.
Yeah.
So by the time this one goes live, it'll be just before the album drops. So we're about a month out at the moment. And
Okay.
you've been out on the festival runs. How have the reactions to the new tracks been?
Overwhelmingly positive, which is honestly kind of a rarity. Usually the top when we release stuff, it takes a minute to get going. We've always had this kind of ongoing situation of the 2 albums ago is their favorite album every time. But this one, people seem to be digging it. So maybe we did a better job accomplishing our goal with this album than I suppose we'd even anticipated we would, where people do feel like they're included and are not being put by the wayside in any aspect of the songs, which I think was the goal. So maybe we've done a better job of the impossible task than we initially anticipated we would.
Maybe the next album should be titled "This is for all the people in the comment section."
Yeah, we got a comment. It's just the sound of me taking a shit.
Yeah. Oh, look, at the end of the day, you're never going to please everyone. And that goes for every band releasing every album. But as a consumer, and to be honest with you, I'll call myself a casual fan because I got into the band late. I feel that this is the album for everyone purely because there are just so many sounds. Like, how are you guys going to bring some of those songs to the stage? Is it just going to be some like samples triggered, on stage and things like that?
We had a lot of that stuff since the very beginning. So having the electronic elements and obviously the amount of tracks that are within those songs that we don't have enough human bodies for.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be absolutely insane of us to have that many humans on us.
Yeah.
We have to be in stadiums. Not that I'm opposed to playing stadiums. I love to play stadiums, but they're very expensive and we can't sell that many tickets. So until then, we rely heavily on, having a bunch of backtracks for choirs and orchestras and 30 different backing vocal layers and like 8 different guitar layers, extra drum layers and synth elements and atmospheric elements and various different effect elements in the background. So it's kind of an integral part of it. I don't know, that awakens the masses that are so anti-laptop, but it's just a part of what it means to recreate those songs live. And we have songs that don't have those. I mean, we can comfortably go up and play those without a computer there,
but also the difference is the guys that are actually on the stage are playing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So Yeah, I know it's kind of a debate that's still quite a hot topic. Thanks to my good friend Ronnie Bradke keeping that debate alive and well against Eddie. They're back and forth on that still. Yeah, I mean it's playing its own instrument now with
Yeah.
with how our music is. Without it, yeah, we can play the songs. There's a whole lot of elements that will be missing, but
Yeah. But that's
that's
the
how we.
difference. If I would, why you wouldn't want to do it if your laptop didn't show up at the gig, you could safely go up and play.
We can play a lot of it.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a very large amount of songs where it's just going to be me singing,
Yeah.
and there's no other instruments happening because there aren't guitar parts there. It's a big electronic or atmospheric section that there aren't in other live instruments playing. So
Yeah.
it'd be
It'd be
some of the songs. Just it wouldn't be practical because I'm just stood there singing by myself for
be
a
a
minute and a
cappella.
half. Yeah.
Now, a lot of people would be surprised at your influences. So I was watching interviews in prep for this and found out that you're a massive fan of Adele, which is quite cool.
Oh,
Like,
my favorite.
yeah. And who else are you into at the moment?
Oh, there are many. Luke Combs is a fantastic singer. Ariana Grande is incredible. I would say more inspired by than influenced by. Influentially, I was just talking about this earlier. I don't think I really draw influence from anywhere when doing Asking stuff, especially this album, other than our previous works. I think I'm inspired by a lot of people, but not particularly influenced. I think that there's a big distinction between them, and I think what inspires me and influences me are very often two very different things, especially because I don't listen to a particularly lot of rock music. I don't very definitely don't listen to much quote unquote heavy music at all. It's largely, you know, pop stuff, a little bit of kind of early noughties, late 90s country and pop stuff, some rock stuff from kind of 50s through 70s, a little bit from the 80s. So it's a lot of inspiration, not a lot of influence.
Right up our alley, man. Our website is genre free, which is the way music should be, in my opinion. You just
It
like
is.
it or you don't like it. And
Exactly.
considering we were covering Cirque du Soleil last night, I think we're kind of
Beautiful.
in the same wheelhouse here.
Was it James Brown who said, does it sound good? Does it feel good? Then it's music.
There you go. There you go. Thanks for the soundbite for TikTok and everything.
Yeah.
Now,
I've been doing this a minute. I know what we're doing.
just a hot minute. Now, were there any songs that didn't make the album that you might release as extra tracks?
No, we've always. I think we have two songs ever that we didn't release. The last album we had two left over that we released then just as singles, but that's the first time we ever had leftover songs. We generally go into it with trying to write an album, not trying to write a collection of songs and then see what goes on the album. We're trying to, especially with this album, because it wasn't a personal journey kind of documentation of whatever the hell's going on in my mind. We kind of go into it with, okay, here's the layout of what a great Asking Alexandria album should be. Let's try and check each one of those boxes so that it's all complete and we have every piece of that puzzle. So there wasn't anything left over. At the end, we had a couple spots that are empty. So it was more so we got like 8 done, and then it's like, cool, what are we missing? And we're like, okay, we need to write that song and we need to write that song.
So instead of it being a concept, you basically build a theme around the songs that you're writing and then fill in the last chapters.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily the songs tying together, more so the energy and the feel of the songs. I suppose they do have kind of a cohesive theme content-wise as well, but it's more so like just the energy of the album. Like, does it feel like it's taking you on the right ride?
Do you guys go in like totally from scratch, or do you write separately and then just sort of see where you're at?
I saw James for 3 days while we were doing this album, and none of us saw each other other than that. We did it all remotely. I did all my work out of my studio here in Florida. There was I think, Cameron recorded out of Arizona, James recorded out of Texas, Sam recorded out of Tennessee, Ben recorded out of, I think, partially in South Carolina, a little bit from England because he moved halfway through making the album.
Does that for you make it an easier album to make when you don't have everyone breathing down your neck in the studio?
Honestly, the last album before this one, See What's on the Inside, that was the first time we'd been in the studio together at the same time in, I think, 13 years. So that's how we're used to doing it at this point. We're used to all being separate when we're making the album. So that's kind of been on. Coming together was the different part, but it was really enjoyable.
Does that make it a bit weird to play them for the first time, like in pre-production for the tour?
Yeah, a little bit, because you've just got to hope that everyone practiced and learned everything. Because sometimes it'll be like Ben wrote something that he wrote all of the guitars, so Cameron maybe didn't play that bit. So then we go in and play this song, and Cameron then has to learn that, like, because he's never played it before.
Yep.
So you just got to trust everyone's learned the stuff right and learned the right bits. We always get it figured out. It sometimes takes a couple goes, but that's what rehearsals are for.
Yeah, and
we usually do like a week of rehearsals now, just so that everything's nice and tight before we walk on the stage.
well, you'll be heading out after the release with Bad Wolves and the Who, and
yep,
looking forward to that. They're all label mates.
Yeah, we met the Who guys very briefly on the Europe tour we just did. They seemed nice enough. Enormous language barrier. Contrary to popular belief, none of us speak Chinese. So there was a translator to help us out.
Yep.
But I'm hoping he's there for the whole tour, because otherwise we're just going to do a lot of nods to each other.
Yeah,
a lot of nods and fist bumps in the hallway.
Well, they do have them on the interviews that we do with them. Like, it's really it's bizarre, but it actually adds a whole different element. So you probably have one on the tour,
I'm sure. And then I've known some of the Bad Wolves guys for a while. I know there's been some lineup changes, so there's some guys I don't particularly know. And then 0936, I don't think I've met yet. I may have met him over the years, like a festival or something. But I don't believe we know each other yet. So it's going to be interesting. I mean, honestly, we stay so busy, and I'm running other companies and businesses.
Yep.
from the road. So I mean, outside, like, my days are full. I don't get that much time to kind of sit around and socialize and party like I used to. I'm waking up at 9 a.m. and on conference calls all day until I go on stage.
Yep.
So I'm sure we'll manage to find some time to all kind of sit down and break bread, but it's kind of just a different game than it used to be now.
Now the $50 million question is Australia penciled in for 24?
Listen, up until, if you'd have asked me that question yesterday, I would have told you I have no idea. We obviously haven't been to Australia in a very long time. I've been kind of recently. That was my last shows before everything locked down in Australia, with my solo work. But Asking Alexandria hasn't been there in, I believe Sam said today, 2016 was our last time.
Wow.
Which is quite a couple minutes ago. Yeah, I would have said I have no idea. But this morning we had a phone call, and the word Australia did come up a couple times. So potentially, I can't give too much away, because it's just been mentioned. There's been we haven't even seen a written word yet. But the rumor mill says maybe early 2024.
Lovely. Now I've got to ask,
Q1.
What sets your tequila apart from the other tequilas on the market?
I don't know another really good rock singer from Asking Alexandria who has one. We kind of just wanted to make something that, I mean, I guess the same concept as how we got into music. We just wanted to make something that checked all the boxes for us, myself and my business partner. And we spent a long time it was cheaper for me to make really nice tequila for me to drink than it was for me to buy other people's tequila.
Yep.
So if no one buys it, then I've saved money. But we just put a lot of time into it. We have a lot of love and a lot of passion for it. So we wanted to just really make something we loved, and we did. And thus far, it has been overwhelmingly positive and successful. So hopefully that continues, and we can bring it everywhere in the world and make people smile, that goofy little smile people do after they've had a couple shots and they start forgetting that the world's so annoying.
Will it be available in Australia soon?
I can't say about soon, but it will be available in Australia at some point in time. If we do come over there in Q1, I will be bringing some cases with me.
Great, because and bring the merch because I'm digging that beanie too.
Absolutely, I got you.
Yeah, sweet. All right, man. I'm going to let you go. Thanks so much for your time. I'm really digging the album. I'm digging all the vibes because it's a very vibey album.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
To all the old Asking Alexandria fans, you'll find something on here that connects you to the past. For the new ones,
I make all them noises.
Yeah, welcome to listening from scratch for the new fans because you'll love it. But dude, Q1, bring the tequila, bring the shirts, bring the beanies, bring the band too. I guess gotta have to bring them.
I'll think about it.
Yeah, all right, man. Thanks for your time.
Take it easy, my brother.
See ya. Bye.